the end, I mean, the final scoreline looks a lot different to it did after 60 minutes. But did it feel like they were the better side, or how was it 7-7 at half time? How did that happen? That's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's again.
I assumed the R League app had gone haywire when I looked at the half-time score.
Well, it's getting close to half time. Let's sneak in with a lead. Which, yeah, okay, why not have a pop? Oh no, Hull have got the ball back. All right, no, let's sneak in at half time with scores level, kind of thing.
Right,
yeah. It's I don't know. It's just it's an odd one. But again, I mean, Trin were taking kick 2 points when they were 6 points behind.
Yeah.
So they were obviously thinking it was going to be a tight game, and we're thinking, we'll take the points when we can get them.
That was that running out the Simbin period as well, maybe?
Potentially, but yeah, it would have. I mean, it would have been very close. I think. I don't know if Jowett was even back on then. It was, but yeah, it's kind of one of those games where just at the end it just fell apart, and I think our lads almost seem to think, oh well, yeah, that's it. And I think there's got to be half of them have got the one eye on the beach.
Well, yeah, or some rest and recovery, which is probably needed for some of those blokes as well. I mean, Scott Taylor, it's just ridiculous how much work he's got through, and he should have been out for medium term twice this year and only missed a game each time. It feels like he's probably flogged himself enough, and maybe he needs to sit down now that the top four is all but a distant dream.
Yeah, I think so. I think I think what Vadas is probably going to do is kind of what we did last time. There was a kind of an injury crisis like this, and kind of give some of the young lads blood. Some of the young lads.
How many left? I thought you'd sold them all to Doncaster.
Well, there's a few. There's a few. I mean, I think we'll give them a run out and see, because I think some of these guys are kind of. I think they're going to be playing for contracts. It's getting, especially obviously Burnix. We've got him signed. There's another young lad, Jack Brown, from the academy side who signed on a 3-year deal.
Yes.
And talk of another prop coming in, which suggests to me we've maybe got some props going out the door.
Yeah, but you haven't really replaced Watley and Watts, have you? So.
No, but I mean, I suppose how are you going to replace the best prop in Super League according to his dad?
I thought it was the world, mate. I don't know about that. All right, on to the stats then. Under 1,000 metres and 11 penalties conceded to 7. Are both bad numbers for the home side Hull FC. Wakefield made 3 more errors, but also made 3 more breaks and had a 3% better team tackle success rate and nearly 300 more total metres. So all the threes there for Trinity. That works, doesn't it? Excellent. Yeah. Individually, Tom Johnston, 1 try, 1 tackle, was 107 metres. Bill Tupu, nailed on Dream Team representative this year. He'll be absolute robbed if he doesn't get one of those centre spots. Bill Tupu got 1 try, 7 tackle, was 164 metres. Reece Lynn, 5 tackle, was 116 metres. Matty Ashurst, 48 tackles, 14 of which were marker tackles for the losing Hull FC side. Scott Taylor with a try and 105 metres. Danny Houghton with a try assist. I think that was on Scott Taylor's try, if I'm right. But
it was, yeah.
With a try, 46 tackles, 12 marker tackles. Seeker Manu, 46 tackles. Danny Washbrook, 41 tackles, 11 of which were marker tackles. So some hard-working guys in the pack, certainly for Hull FC. So people haven't given up in terms of effort levels. So that's a positive. At least. Okay, we'll move on to the next game now. It was the leaders St Helens hosting the form side Huddersfield Giants. It finished 16-12 to the Giants. It was 16-6 at half time, so Saints not quite able to close back into it. 8,979 were there to see Scott Michalauskas referee this one. Do you want to give us the first fan view from Brian Davies?
Yeah, superfan Brian. Great start by Giants. Got St Helens on the ropes. 16-0 start for Huddersfield before Saints spluttered back into the game, but were never good enough to claw it back. Great defence from Giants in the last 20 minutes to defend attack after attack. Saints fans getting on Barber's back now that Benny's going home. Has as good as been confirmed.
Yeah, interesting. We'll touch on that in a minute then. Tyrone said, why do Saints fans boo when a player is down potentially seriously injured? Do we know? I mean, the only big injury that I know from this game was Alex Mellor's jaw, so do they think that he was faking injury? That's the only suggestion I could give, but it's bad form if people are booing a player when he's down injured. That's not great form at all.
No,
I've not experienced that really. I occasionally I've seen fans cheer when someone they don't like takes a big hit, but whenever fans have realised it's potentially something serious, I've not come across them booing. There was the incident at the Wigan game not so long ago against Catalans where they were booing the training staff, not the player, because the training staff took the player off through the middle of the pitch when they could have just taken him off the side of the pitch. But yeah, no, that's a rough one. Send us more, Tyrone, on that. That's interesting because it's disappointing, especially because there's a lot of high horse riding going on about balls being thrown and stuff like that at the moment. So that's upsetting if St Helens fans have done that. What else have we got?
This one's from Rob. That defence in the last quarter was immense. Matagi had a decent debut when he was on. Ref was very questionable. Come on, you Giants.
St David said, fed up, hungover from Bolton, couldn't hang on to the ball, didn't do enough to win. Good job we have time for a blip and to rebuild momentum. Good test of Holbrook's coaching credentials. Onwards. I've got to admit, all I've seen is the tries, and Darnell McIntosh's tries look very, very nice indeed. I think Huddersfield put on some good plays in this game to get the scores they did. Luke Thompson celebrated his try by throwing the ball right at the in-goal touch judge, and it did seem like it was right at him.
That was it. I mean,
hanging over him for that.
But potentially, I mean, I think I've watched that back a couple of times actually, because I just thought, hang on, what's he done to the? And he threw it, and the touch judge comes running on, and obviously has a word with the ref. I think it's just careless rather than malicious.
I think didn't Scott Mikalowskis make sure that the in-goal judge was all right? He said, "Yeah, I'm fine," and
that
seems to be it. I was surprised that there was more than just a caution for it, because, like you say, it did seem. But it's stupid. It's stupid. It's not the first time I've seen it at a game at St Helens. Not necessarily a St Helens player. I have a feeling it might have been a Hull FC player, actually. Was it Jamie Shaw kicked it right at the in-goal judge 2 seasons ago? It celebrated a try. I have a vague memory. In the upset win in the Super 8s when you had no players.
Yeah, that rings a bell, but I think that was more, he was kind of, again, that was just over celebration.
Yeah.
Rather than, I don't know. I mean, it's probably easy to forget that the in-goal judge is there most of the time.
Yeah, Saints will do more games on TV than not probably this season, certainly. Huddersfield. They've shown some defensive steel against this Saints side. That a Saints side that have scored a lot of points this year, a lot of points at home. Is it maybe? Is there a problem in their attack? Because is Ben Barber getting in the way? People keep telling me, well, a few people have told me he's injured, and that's why he's gone off the boil. Obviously, there's situation about the speculation and trying to get his deal sorted out for back in the NRL next year. That's going to weigh on his mind a little bit as well. Is it right that the Saints fans are getting his back, and do you think his form is a significant problem for him at this stage of the season, or do you think it's just a blip and they can get it back on track?
No, I think it's a blip. I mean, every team's going to go through this. I mean, losing the
semi
as they did was probably a big blow. I mean, they as much as they won't say it and they'll never talk about it, but I bet there was some thought they were thinking, we can do the treble here. We've got the measure of everybody. We can do the treble.
Oh, I think no doubt, yeah.
Yeah, and they've been caught out. I mean, I work with a few Saints fans. I was speaking to them, and even at the start of the season, they were saying, yeah, there's rumours that Barber's going, and if he plays well, we don't expect to keep him, but we'd rather have him for one season playing well than not at all. I think the ones that are booing him, I think, yeah, you've got to, you just be thankful for what you've got, kind of thing.
It's got a top try as well. He's trying the game.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny Lomax played a big part of that, and if they're losing him, but they're bringing in Nguama, and also Johnny Lomax is no bad fullback as well. If he was playing there, he's a very creative player. So I think they've got plenty in reserve. To me, I'd be at this stage a little bit worried that they weren't able to break down the Huddersfield side in that second half more than just that one crash over try. That would concern me if I was a Saints fan, because they need to be basically taking the chances, and it feels like they're kind of making a lot of errors recently, and they were getting away with it. And if now they're only going to be playing against the top sides in theory, other than Hull, no, but in theory, Catalan maybe he'll switch off, and that's about it. But they're going to be playing the top sides week in, week out. They can't afford to be making error after error. And if we move on to the stats, Saints made over 200 more metres actually in the game, and each side made 4 clean breaks, but Saints had a little bit better team tackle success rate and conceded half as many penalties, 4-8 being the penalty count on the Super League website. Huddersfield, with 3 tries to 2, took their chances better. They were also far more disciplined with the ball, with 9 handling errors compared to 19 from their hosts. So Saints making 19 handling errors is way too high a number. Against inform or high quality opposition, you're going to get punished. That's what they need to tighten up. Individually, Darnell McIntosh, 2 tries, 111 metres, 2 clean breaks. Jerry McGilvray, 143 metres. Jordan Turner, 1 try assist, 155 metres. Ryan Hinchcliffe, 46 tackles. Then for the losing Saints side, there were still some standout performers, and it's the standout performers we've been hearing from all year, other than Benny Barber. It's Luke Thompson with a try and 141 metres. Johnny Lomax with a try assist, 170 metres, 3 clean breaks. Tommy Makinson with 170 metres. James Roby with a try assist and 46 tackles and 11 mark tackles. They're all England players this season, or England squad members this season, richly deserved. So they've still got the talent to bounce back. I wouldn't get too worried if I was a Saints fan. You're going to get to Old Trafford, we're going to beat you there, and it's going to be fine. Everyone will be happy. Moving on to the who's that playing there then game from this week's round in Super League. Warrington 56, Catalan Dragons 6. 8,032 turned up to watch Ben Thaler not know the names of the players he was refereeing because he'd never seen most of them or even been aware they existed until this game. Do you want to take us away with the first fan review from last week's co-host, Lee Whitnall?
Yeah, so Catalans took the opportunity to rest many of their big names and blood some youngsters and fringe players in this one. They kept the score respectable for the first 20 minutes, but we ran away with it after that. Debutant Bodine Thompson, who was man of the match on the night and was excellent, although I would have picked Goodwin, who was class throughout.
Wire Joe said we should have nilled them. Not much to see here, really. Decent knock from Bodine Thompson on debut, and in the end, we did what we had to do to get past a Catalans team that never looked remotely interested in the 2 points. Hashtag every minute matters.
Oh, a little flashback there. So at Mike Dodd 22, always a tough watch when there are no opposition fans in the stadium, but at least we proved that we are far better than Catalan's B team. Solid debut for Bodine Thompson, even though he looked gassed after 55 minutes. Best moment came when Kev Brown realised that he didn't have the legs on a clean break and had to dump it off to the much faster Joe Philbin. Fingers crossed Livette's injury isn't too bad.
Yeah, he went off with a knee injury in the first quarter of the game, so that is worrying there with the cup final on the horizon. Paul Chamberlain said, good to see what appeared to be 15 out of 17 French players in the Catalan squad. However, given the importance of positions in the top 4 for progression to Old Trafford, should the RFL take action against the Catalans for fielding such a weakened side?
No. How do you prove it? It's just kind of all it takes is, oh no, I had a bit of a niggle, bit of a knock.
Well, that's kind of what thing they've said. There was lots of people carrying injuries. There that they're trying to get right. I think it's difficult. At this stage of the season, in this type of sport, it's really difficult to demonstrate that there's foul play at